Step into the clinic. The chair reclines. A nervous patient grips the armrests and takes a heavy, shallow breath. Soon, dental students will face this exact scenario. They will treat individuals with diverse medical backgrounds, specific cultural practices, and deeply rooted fears. This split screen illustrates the challenge. On the left, we see a technically flawless procedure, but the interaction is cold, leaving the patient tense. On the right, the practitioner pairs clinical skill with warm eye contact, creating a relaxed environment. When practitioners fail to communicate effectively, patients experience heightened anxiety, misunderstand their treatment options, and often avoid returning for necessary care. To bridge the gap between clinical theory and actual human interaction, dental programs rely on the simulated patient, or SP. By accurately portraying real-world cases, you provide the hands-on practice students need to graduate as capable, trusted healthcare providers. To begin preparing for your role, you will receive a case profile document. This is your blueprint, detailing your character's background, medical history, and current mindset. Looking at this case layout, pay close attention to the communication focus section highlighted here. This dictates the specific interpersonal skill the student must demonstrate, while the supplemental information outlines your precise symptoms and daily habits. A character's occupation and diet directly inform how they speak and act in the chair. A busy teacher who casually snacks on sugary foods will answer questions differently than an accountant adhering to a strict diabetic diet. You will also navigate undisclosed medical histories. Conditions like bulimia nervosa or early-stage Alzheimer's require you to exhibit specific reluctances or ask highly targeted questions during the role-play. Cultural and religious practices further shape the interaction. If your profile notes you are observing Ramadan fasting, you must express concern about swallowing water and negotiate a treatment time that aligns with your schedule. Internalizing these specific metrics allows you to inhabit the role fully. When the student asks an unexpected question, you'll have a human response ready because you've built a human history. Mental preparation is the first step, but the student cannot react to internal thoughts. You have to bring the character's symptoms and emotions into the physical space. For a case of severe dental phobia, watch how the patient grips the armrests until their knuckles turn white, breathing rapidly as the practitioner approaches. Conversely, if your case profile indicates you feel discriminated against and received substandard care, your posture should be rigid and your vocal tone sharp and confrontational. Sometimes you will play a secondary character, like a distracted parent accompanying a child with autism. Here, your physicality shifts to protective hovering and anxious questioning about sensory issues. Whatever the profile requires, you must maintain that specific body language from the moment the student walks in until the timer concludes the scenario. By projecting authentic emotions and physical symptoms, you generate the real-world pressure needed to accurately test a student's clinical composure. Once the scenario begins, your performance becomes interactive. You act as a mirror, adjusting your emotional state dynamically based on the student's pacing and empathy. This requires you to recognize escalation triggers. If a student rushes through an explanation, ignores your visible discomfort, or uses confusing medical jargon, your anxiety or frustration should increase. We can map this as a seesaw. Notice how the rushed student icon on the left immediately forces the seesaw to tilt toward the escalate side, causing the patient icon to tense up and withdraw. Look for de-escalation triggers. When the student slows down and offers control, your character must respond positively. As the student adopts open gestures, the seesaw levels out. The tension breaks, and the patient icon relaxes. Operating on the seesaw prevents the simulation from feeling like a static read-through. It forces the student to actively earn your trust in real time. After the timer calls the end of the simulation, you step completely out of character. Your role shifts from patient to evaluator, delivering objective feedback directly to the student. This feedback rubric focuses on 3 specific areas: the student's capacity for empathy, their clarity in explaining procedures, and their ability to build rapport. You will provide practical observations, pointing out exactly where their eye contact made you feel secure, while also offering actionable steps to improve their tone or pacing. A rigorous, fair simulation ends with mutual respect, giving the student concrete lessons they can take into their clinical practice. Your commitment to an honest, dynamic portrayal shapes the next generation of practitioners. They leave these sessions understanding that clinical expertise is only half of the job. The rest is human connection.